Come, Nerevar, come. It's been a while since I graced you with a sermon. Today we're going to talk about Oh, what do you mean? I cannot say that. What is the meaning of this, Nerevar? Oh, I understand. Today we are going to talk about Enwas eating farm tools and Enwas eating Enwas. There are many factors that explain this weird phenomenon, but honestly, Nerevar, we know what is really happening here. Nerevar, why are these Enwas in Seyda eating all the farm tools and Kwama eggs? They're eating the Enwas. They are eating the farm tools. They are eating the Khajiit. They are eating the Argonians. Oh, they are Bosmer, and I should be more accepting of their green-packed nature. Well, I did not think to look at this from this perspective. You know, maybe we should allow them to consume farm tools and other Enwas and even Dummer. An acceptable solution, Nerevar. I don't know if you understand sarcasm, but this is the worst idea I have ever heard, for as long as my existence has graced Mundus. Is this how you honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned? I would never accept these Enwas no matter how much lore I read. Nerevar, not only they are eating up all the free labor in Seyda and the rest of Morrowind, but they are also taking away Dunmer jobs. What fools they are! Oh, that's still not enough evidence for you, Nerevar. They eat their own, and they eat the Draugr. I do not understand why they pretend not to be that false god, Namira worshippers, because that is what they really are. Speaking of worshippers of Namira, they also eat quite a bit of Draugr, Enwas, Dunmer, and many, many more. They can be found across Cyrodiil and also the catacombs of one of the worst Skyrim cities, Markarth. They eat too much Draugr, but want to upgrade their meal plan to living Enwas. Yes, Nerevar, Iola is definitely a gourmet in her own right. In any case, if the Dragonborn cooperates with Iola, they acquire taste for farm tool and Enwa. Apparently this is also possible to do in Oblivion. But it is a little different, Nerevar. Of course, there is an option to stop them all, so I'd rather see the Dragonborn do that. Continuing with the theme of undead consumption, there is undead flesh, human hearts, Serana's lungs, oh, even some corpus flesh. Do you want some corpus flesh, Nerevar? We have an abundance of that. However, I must speak on my fellow Dunmer. Look, under the circumstances that we found ourselves in, we have an abundance of bone meal. Yes, Nerevar, due to scarcity of food, we had to eat quite a bit of bone meal. It is no wonder there is quite a bit of bone meal in ancestral tombs. Our ancestors wanted to feed us, so in return, they turned themselves into bone meal. I mean, it is not exclusive to Morrowind. It can also be found on Cyrodiil and Skyrim, and on every other province of Tamriel. At least we do not straight up eat Enwas or farm tools like the others. If you are enjoying this unusually morbid sermon, Nerevar, do not forget to raise your thumbs, subscribe to my sermons, and write on the parchment down below any lore tidbits that I may have missed. Write your suggestions for Spooktober down below. Oh, Nerevar, you think those furry farm tools known as Khajiit are these skooma-loving, moon-sugar-smoking cute little kitties? Well, think again. In Morrowind, the Khajiit threaten to eat you quite often. And those farm tools that look like giant apex predators, the Senchirat, also known as battle cats, they also eat everyone. So now you have the reverse of farm tools eating the Enwas, although that's not quite unusual, Nerevar. Let's not forget vampires and werewolves. Vampires technically count because blood is a part of the body, but it's liquid. They do have the option to consume animals, but instead they prefer men, myrrh, and farm tools. They even refer to their captives or thralls as cattle, as in the source for their feeding. However, it is up to you, Nerevar, to decide if drinking blood is equivalent to consumption. Werewolves, on the other hand, consume everyone indiscriminately. Technically, it can also be considered that farm tools are eating farm tools in this situation. However, I would not go to claim that fully. When werewolves are in human form, they still hunger for enwa and farm tool flesh. The evidence for this can be found in Falkreath, with one enwa eating that one smaller enwa, if you catch my meaning. Or when Arnbjorn, who is also ironically in Falkreath, refers endearingly to the Dragonborn by naming different food items. What more evidence do you need? In Lord of the Rings, the orcs also consumed enwas, even saying that the enwas were back on the menu. Surely in the Elder Scrolls universe they are a little more civilized. Right? Wrong. If they can eat horses, surely they can eat farm tools and enwas. In fact, there is Orzoga, the orc, who makes suspicious meals and who got kicked out of the mongrel dog Imperial Legion. Let's also not forget that their whole race was born out of Boethia eating Trinimac and producing the byproduct. This makes me think, Nerevar, how many Daedra, such as Sheogorath, Malagbal, and others, engage in the consumption of other Daedra. Let's also not forget that giants and ogres eat enwas, cattle, and farm tools. However, Namira does not recognize the consumption of ogres as eating enwas or farm tools, which is an insult. They are a little smarter than farm tools, at least. There was even a quest in Oblivion where some enwa tried to establish contact with the ogres due to having ogre origins, but had to be saved by the champion of Cyrodiil because he was about to become a meal, Pagliarulo. Finally, we have to talk about the Draugr of Solstheim. They became Draugr because, you guessed it, consumed enwas. For this reason, they were turned into Draugr. I guess Draugr in general fits into this category, as when it comes to Namira followers, it's eat or be eaten. You know, you might be wondering why there are so many references to this topic in my sermons, and my answer to this is that be it the Elder Scrolls franchise, the Fallout franchise, or that one space game one-off Bethesda adds an extreme amount of Namiras and Falaanu into their games. Nerevar, this was supposed to be a short rant, but after looking into it, I realized that these claims had merit, and a sermon needed to be conducted. Let's hope Bethesda does not eat itself before the next Elder Scrolls game. Honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned by raising your thumb, subscribing to my sermons, and writing on the parchment down below. Thank you to all Sixth House members and patrons for funding the operation of the Sixth House across Tamriel. I would like to thank the adoring fan Connor Runda and the current Sharmat Tanya Davis for your unwavering loyalty during these less productive times.